So, 2020 candidate Andrew Yang has fired dozens of campaign staffers. Now, he's still in the race and is still going to compete in New Hampshire, but by all indications, past New Hampshire, he's likely not going to stay in this race much longer. So let me just show you the Politico story on this. Yang fires dozens of staffers after Iowa debacle. The layoffs extended throughout his organization. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'll give you a little taste here. Andrew Yang's campaign fired dozens of staffers this week after an abysmal finish in the Iowa caucuses, according to 4 former staffers who were let go. Among those dismissed were the national political and policy directors of the campaign, as well as the deputy national political director, all senior-level positions. The people who were fired worked across Yang's organization, from his headquarters in New York to the now disbanded Iowa operation. So once you start firing people that work on the national level with your campaign, senior level positions, you're not going to be in this much longer. It was a valiant effort. I think Yang brought some unique ideas to the discussion. I think UBI is something that is worth discussing, and I think we should continue to discuss it and its viability. But the campaign's coming to an end. And if you're in New Hampshire and you're a Yang supporter, I would just go to Yang's recent comments about Iowa, about what he said about Bernie Sanders in the past. Yang, it appears right now, if Yang were to back out and potentially endorse somebody, that it would be Bernie Sanders, just based on his recent actions or what he has said. So before the Iowa caucuses, Andrew Yang said that he assumes or could envision that many of his supporters would go to Bernie Sanders if he doesn't make it past the first vote. So in Iowa caucuses, there's a first vote, then a realignment. So Yang essentially saying a lot of his support could go to Bernie Sanders. I think that was a clear hint that he supports Bernie Sanders, that out of this entire field, it would be Bernie Sanders that he backs. So again, we're going to have to wait and see. But if you are a Yang supporter and you're going in New Hampshire, understand Yang has no path to victory. I mean, I would say Joe Biden at this point has barely any path to victory, or Elizabeth Warren. Like, just based on where the momentum is, where the energy is, how all the polls are moving right now, it appears it's going to be Bernie. Maybe Buttigieg is going to be in this race, but even he may fall off quickly after the first states, the early states, because he hasn't put much investment into states past the early ones. And Bloomberg. So it's going to be a very weird race. But I think at this point, you have to back the candidate that you like the most out of those three. So this is the time to choose a side and really get in this fight and join us. Become a part of this Sanders movement and really push to transform the country for the better. And understand that UBI is going to have. There will be zero discussion about UBI if Pete Buttigieg is the candidate, and zero discussion about UBI if it's Bloomberg. So if you actually care about Yang's ideas and discussing UBI, Bernie Sanders is the only candidate here that will even, listen at all to these ideas. So I say now is the time to get behind Bernie Sanders and support him starting in New Hampshire.